Hello, creative and beautiful souls. Welcome to a new episode for the Mind of the Crochet Designer podcast. In this very special two-part interview, I get the chance to interview one of the designers I have been looking up to ever since I started crocheting, and she is such an inspiration. I'm talking about Dedri Uys, and in this part two, we are diving into her process when she created Sophies Universe. We go into the nitty gritty details, and also we talked about her own strategy for getting paid for her crochet designs, even though all of her crochet patterns are free. And I found that so inspirational. I just cannot wait to dive into this with you. And also, if you missed part one, we talked about the science and the magic behind crochet stitches. If you missed that, then please go back, listen to that first, and let's roll the tape for part two. Grab your whip and your favorite cup of whatever. Let's hang back and enjoy. Roll the tape.
But one of the squares was Chris Simon's lace petal square, and it had this little flower in the middle that I made it when we were in South Africa on holiday. And something about being there with our family and the nostalgia and the colors really spoke to me about that flower. So I asked her if I could use it as the center of a mandala, which was the beginning of Sophie.
All right.
And so I made the flower front with texture, so post stitches. So her original one was just flat, but then it started from there. So I made the mandala, and then I wanted to keep growing, and then I thought I want to make the square,
Yeah.
and then I thought I want to keep growing it. But at that point, people had already started just growing it around with.
Oh, yeah, right.
So I had to stop and think, how will I grow this so that it is visually recognizable?
Yeah.
And so that's when I came up with the idea of
Yeah. Doing it, shifting
quality
the
look.
square. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
So, and that was
interesting.
such a fun journey.
Oh, I actually did not know because I think when you're talking about that era, having crochet patterns with images or tutorial photos wasn't all that standard because a lot of patterns were also from magazines and from books, and so all these patterns don't have photos at all except for like the finished object, and oftentimes also from far away or like this very artsy photo.
Mm.
So that's very, so actually you just jumped in a gap there.
Yeah, well, I think there were people doing photo tutorials.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, there must have been, because
But
I
not
would
a
have
lot
had
that
to
back
learn
then.
someone. No, not
And
like
not in the
now. Not,
way like you are doing them, because I actually jumped into the Sophies Universe crochet along when it was on part 4 or something. Like it wasn't that far along, and I was like, I just started crocheting in 2010, but I actually did not know anything around stitch anatomy or creating such a, I just did granny squares or blankets in rows, just very simple. I actually did not know where Sophie's Universe was going, but I was looking at that photo and I was like, I need to join. This is so original. Like, I had never seen something like it before because a lot of blankets were either in rows or motif based. So,
mm,
and I was like, this is like a giant motif. It
but
was
yeah.
so original and unique. So let's talk about that, like creating Sophie's Universe, because I find it so interesting how you started with, so I think it was Sophie's Garden, like
It
doing
was
the,
actually just a mandala this big,
oh right.
the very first one. It
Mm-hmm.
was just the first 8 rounds.
Yeah. And so you released that first, and then you,
And then I made it a bit bigger,
mm-hmm.
and I released that, and then I made it a bit bigger, and
Yeah.
that was the finish of the mandala.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I squared it up.
Yeah.
So by the time the crochet along started,
Mm-hmm.
it was a mystery crochet along,
Mm-hmm.
and people didn't know what it was going to look like, but because I'd already released the garden, they knew that it started there.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
So when we started, because they didn't know how intricate it was going to get, and they'd
Mm-hmm.
already made the garden, they were like, "Oh, I can do this."
Mm.
So by the
Yeah,
time,
right.
which was because by the time that other people came in and said, "Oh, I couldn't possibly make this," they all jumped in and went, "Oh, you can!"
Oh,
Like
right.
it was.
Yeah.
So that was just luck and good fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, she's my baby. That was one of the best journeys. Us
Yeah.
opened so many doors for me, and like I said, it was important to me that it would be visually unique, so
Yeah.
that you, yeah, and I think I achieved that.
Yeah, you definitely did. But how was it like design-wise? Because you, from what I remember, you did like several yarns just to see what works and what doesn't, or do I not remember correctly? Like you did.
I did it in several yarns because I could,
Yeah.
because they'd given me yarn. Uh, but also, I wanted a rainbow version,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
but which I made in the a soft fun, but it didn't have the shades back then.
Mm-hmm.
Now soft fun has so many beautiful
Oh
shades,
yeah,
but
yeah.
back then it didn't have as many shades.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a more muted rainbow.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted rainbow one,
Mm-hmm.
so I made it in cotton 8.
Mm-hmm.
And also partly then to test my pattern. So once I'd
Yeah.
written it, to test it again.
Yeah, right.
And then
Okay,
I
so this means you first write the pattern and then try to crochet to see if it works. That's like your process.
no, the prototype, the first prototype,
Yeah.
I made in scrap yarn, so I made it
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
and wrote the pattern as I
Yeah.
was going.
Mm-hmm.
So every round I'd write the pattern and then I would scratch
Yeah.
it out and rewrite when I had
Right.
to.
Mm-hmm.
And once then that was the prototype
Yeah.
that I frogged almost all the way back and then only completed the one side
Yeah.
of. It's
Oh,
still around here
really?
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yep. And so then I remade it
Mhm.
in the soft fun and sort of tested the pattern.
Yeah.
Looked at what hints and tips could I give. So
Mm-hmm.
originally I would give little hints and tips to myself, but then that was typing it out and then going and then making it and going, actually I could add this, I could add that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Then I made the rainbow version in the colors I really wanted to use
Mm-hmm.
and retested the pattern
Yeah.
and checked that my landmarks were what I was. I basically did my own testing for
Yeah.
Sophie.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Back then I didn't have testers for that kind of thing. I did then ask people to test, so the pattern was tested. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I did a good few waves, and then I wanted a bigger version
Mm-hmm.
in muted colors. So then I made one in Stonewashed XL,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
again testing the pattern.
Mm.
So that was then testing the edited pattern with
Yeah.
all the corrections and everything.
Mm.
I want One of the most important things for me is that the pattern be as accurate as possible
Yeah.
when it lands with people.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's not, then that introduces another layer of frustration or confusion.
Yeah.
So my aim has never been to put as many patterns as possible out there. It's
Mm.
to maybe they take me a lot longer than they should because I
Mm-hmm.
keep faffing and tweaking
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
everything's ready. But that's very important to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you know, when that's your process and that's just your process, I mean, there are designers out there that are releasing patterns every week, and there are designers out there that release patterns once a year, that want to
Yeah.
create their best stuff possible.
Yeah.
And that
But
takes time.
yep, and there's nothing wrong with releasing a pattern every week. That's because we need those smaller patterns. We need the things that we can pick up but it is important that I mean it's as a designer, that's your brand.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get known as the person whose patterns are always riddled with errors, that's
Mhm.
you are damaging your brand.
Yeah,
So it is
absolutely.
definitely worth putting twice the effort into one pattern rather
Yeah.
than making two patterns.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, crochet is just a hobby, you know. You want someone to have a fun time, a relaxing time.
Yeah.
There's so much going on in the world right now. Not even like privately, sometimes things can get overwhelming, but also just in the world, how it is right now, when people just love to have like that meditative rhythm of just following a pattern, just having that joy of the stitches and the colors, and that everything works out and you feel confident and you're like, whoa, I made this, you know.
Yeah.
And that does not happen when people stare at a pattern like, I really don't know what I need to do right now, and they feel stupid or they get insecure,
Yeah.
and that really is the last thing you want. I mean, of course, errors can always happen because we are human, you know, but people
Yeah.
will pick up on if patterns are untested or low quality or just like an afterthought.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really don't want that.
Yeah. I think it's, but again, I mean, it's everyone's own business, but
Mm.
I would like to remind people that that is your brand,
Yeah,
that you
right.
are your
Yeah,
brand.
it is
Oh,
important.
that's gotten serious.
Sorry?
That's gotten serious.
No, no, but you know, it as a designer, it brings me so much joy to see someone on Instagram sharing like something they've made from me and how happy that has made them. That's like the cherry on top. What I do it, I mean, I love to crochet, come up with new things. And like you, I started designing because I simply what I wanted to create did not exist, or I would find something that's like half there, but I was like, but I want to have it this way or that way. And so that's how I started. And I enjoy crocheting, but I really write the pattern for them, you know, for
Yeah.
that experience, because that's really what we are creating for them, you know. So,
Yeah.
yes, I will get serious about that. Yeah, and also I'm always saying like a happy customer is a return customer. It's also how you build your business. If you are releasing like crap patterns, then people will not buy from you again. It's that simple. Or just follow a pattern from you again. No matter how
Yeah.
pretty it looks, you know.
Yeah. I think it is, it's, suppose it's people's motivation as well.
Hmm.
Like some people, for them, it is literally a job.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, like I said earlier, and what you said as well, the cherry on the cake, it is the,
Mm-hmm.
it's, I like to think that I'll leave the world a better place than I found
Mm.
it.
Yeah.
And and it's really nice when people, when I'm able to touch people's lives and I don't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the amount of people who comment,
Yeah.
probably 10 for every one doesn't even
Yeah,
tell you.
right.
You don't
Mm-hmm.
even know. You don't know that you were at a deathbed with someone. You don't know that you were there when they were in the bathroom at their lowest, just crying on the floor. Like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
there's one lady who did write to me and she said that she was really, really depressed. She was literally in the bathroom on the
Yeah.
floor thinking she just wanted her life to end. And in that time, she saw the first bit of Sophie.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was so small,
Yeah.
she thought she would just make that.
All right.
She would just want
Yeah.
something small to make
Yeah.
because she can't commit to a big project.
Mm-hmm.
And then she made the next bit and she made the next bit. And she
Mm.
says, and that carried her through
Oh
a
my
really,
God.
really dark place in her life. And you're like, goosebumps. And you're like,
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps literally like
"Really?"
right here. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's just how, and not what a good girl am I, like how
No, no.
amazing you
Yeah.
get to play a part in that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that, yeah, people.
Yeah. That's like the what we do it for. The, you know, for me personally, yeah. Yeah. That's so magical. Especially because now with online, you know, everyone can just get your patterns no matter where they are. You know, I frequently host crochet alongs, and then people join, even from New Zealand and Japan and Australia and America, and I'm like, oh my god! And doing like Zoom crochet meetups and just seeing those people that have followed you for such a long time, you interact with online, and then you see them, and it's like, whoa, it's so special, and yeah, it's really the cherry on top. Let me see, what more questions did we have? So, what I saw because I always do like a little bits of research, and of course I've been following you for so long, so I always try to tailor the questions to what I see, and I see that community is very important to you. So can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, it is very important to me. I think when I started crocheting, I designed in a bubble. I
Mhm.
didn't go to yarn shows. I didn't know anyone else really who crocheted. My grandma
Mhm.
crocheted.
Yeah.
Um, so I was very isolated in my design journey.
Mhm.
But then when I started going to yarn shows and meeting people, it it opened up this whole new world to me. There were people that I had something in common with, that I could talk to, that I started feeling confident around. That, and see, when I talk about crochet, I get very animated.
Mhm.
I forget whether I'm self-conscious or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
It animates me. And so when I was growing up, I didn't feel like I fit in or belonged at school.
Mhm.
Very lonely in a way.
Mhm.
And I felt unliked.
Mhm.
And that, regardless of whatever reason, for probably my own issues, but I felt unliked. And
Yeah.
then when this crochet community came, I felt, all of a sudden, I felt accepted. So
Yeah.
initially it was for me. It was just like, what? People
Yeah,
care about
right. Yeah.
me. But then started to get to know these people, and as I go into the yarn shows and I met them, and they became important parts of my life.
Yeah.
Like, there are people, names that I recognize from 15 years ago
Mhm.
now, that keep popping up, and you're like, you know bits about their life, and
Yeah.
I've never met this one of my friends, Carolyn Robinson King.
Mhm.
She won't mind me saying her name. Never met, but I've known her since Sophie,
Yeah.
and we talk sometimes, not often, but we have talked.
Mhm.
We message each other. We pray for each other when that's needed. We
Oh yeah.
cheer each other on when that's needed.
Mhm.
And it's it made my life so much richer. And then to see through my patterns, not only for me being able to develop these long-standing acquaintances that feel like much more than an acquaintance
Mhm. Yeah.
I've never met.
Mhm.
The people who joined the cow also started interacting with each other.
Yeah.
When,
Mhm.
and so they also started making friendships. So you
Yeah.
get this spider web of interconnectivity,
Yeah.
people with the same passion. Most of them will like a cat or a dog,
Yeah.
inevitably.
Yeah.
And have
Mhm.
and probably like plants.
Mhm.
But then they grow these relationships,
Yeah.
all from a crochet hook or from
Yeah.
commenting on someone's post and someone
Yeah.
else going, "Oh, I like that too,"
Mhm.
or something. And so that support is really important
Yeah.
to me. And in the beginning, it was very important to me to answer almost every comment, because if they have gone to the trouble to reach out, I
Oh yeah. Mhm.
honor them.
Yeah.
As it's grown bigger and bigger, and as I have moved away from social media
Mhm.
a bit for one reason or another over the
Mhm.
last few years,
Yeah.
I have not been as interactive, although I do try to. And it's something that I would like to get back to,
Oh yeah.
because it is a very important part of my mental health,
Mhm.
is having this group of like-minded people
Yeah.
and just feeling connected to them.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like you have pillars in your life that keep
Mhm.
you steady and even.
Yeah.
So you
Mhm.
have meditation on your pillow, maybe medication is a pillow,
Mhm.
a pillar, sorry, a pillow.
Could be.
Meditation on a pillow. Maybe crochet is a pillar, family a pillar,
Yeah. Mhm.
um, community, all these. And when all those pillars are standing, it's great because you feel on top of the world.
Mhm.
But if multiple of them, for some or other reason, collapse in your life, it gets
Yeah.
very. And so that
Few.
is one of the pillars that I
Yeah.
want to return to,
Yeah, right.
because Yeah. So if I did my wheel of life, it'd be like,
Oh yeah.
that's one I miss,
Mm.
the level of engagement I used to have.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not the same as it was.
No, for various reasons as well. I think COVID, it altered people in a way that I don't, that they may not realize it's altered them,
Mhm.
but it did definitely alter the whole
Yeah.
online community thing. It's
Yeah.
bizarre. It's like the way that pubs and restaurants now seem much emptier than they used to be because
Yeah.
people just, something changed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is, don't get me wrong, because I experienced that same thing, you know. I have a Facebook group as well. I'm not that active in the Facebook group apart from the crochet event, you know, crochet alongs and such. And it is so magical, like you say, people interacting with each other, like, oh, hey, are you here as well? I'm here as well, you know. Even groups of crochet friends joining the crochet along and then doing it in real life and in the Facebook group, you know, that's like magical. But like you say, I personally feel like a lot of people are very wary, are very mistrusting right now, and also tired, you know, of, like you say,
Mm.
with social media, it's not about sharing anymore. It's just about selling and marketing and getting seen, and it really feels like just screaming into the void and no one's listening, and that's like very draining. So it is interesting to see like how this will, because people will always have this need for contact and for connection, and it will be interesting to see how this will evolve in the coming years. Like, where will we start meeting up again? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel like maybe my answer was a bit rambling, but it's just, community is incredibly important to me, and
Mm.
it's so layered and nuanced.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it is quite a rambling subject,
Oh.
but I am so grateful for the connections,
Mm.
and it makes the world feel smaller.
Yeah. Mhm.
And definitely, like my mum crocheted Sophie,
Mhm.
and she did Charlotte more than once.
Oh yeah.
But so my mum was the only one of her siblings who did Sophie. But
Mm.
then when Charlotte came out, two of her three sisters also crocheted
Oh
Charlotte.
really?
Yeah, and so it just, and her friend also did. And so she's made this whole little, my mum helps in a yarn shop sometimes,
Mhm.
and she's made this whole little network of connections.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I
Mhm.
feel like I'm part of it, even though I'm an ocean away,
Yeah, right.
because we're all working on the same thing. Or,
Yeah.
yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like that's like the magic, you know, of real. It's the people that makes life interesting, I
Oh,
feel.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely interesting. And every single connection and relationship is a learning.
Yeah.
Whether it's good or
Definitely.
bad, it's a
Yeah.
learning. And so far, I am grateful for every single one I've had,
Mm-hmm.
good or bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, I think, the best way to view it. Like, you get all these life experiences and you get everything you need, whether you want it or not. Yeah.
Yeah, whether you want it or
Yeah.
not. But then if you can, in hindsight, look back and go,
Yeah, right.
thank you,
Yeah.
opportunity
Yeah.
for teaching me X, Y, Z.
Yeah. Right.
And also being able to see, I suppose, that everything, nothing is just good or just bad.
No, no, definitely not. But you know, like, we are humans, you know, we like things binary. Just right
Yes.
or wrong, categorize everything. Yeah. So, last question. When you released Sophies Universe as a crochet along, it was free. It is now a book. Like I said before, I also have a copy just as a way to support you and because the pattern is so awesome. Did you ever doubt or regret the decision of offering that pattern or any other patterns for free
No,
when you saw it being so successful?
no,
No.
no, no, no. No, because the whole point of me sharing the patterns is that people can follow them
Yeah.
and have these moments. That's my reward. Now,
Yeah.
financially, I also get ad income.
Yeah.
I've got buttloads of ads on my website now,
Mhm.
which I avoided for ages. But
Mhm.
you know what? It funds.
Mhm.
It helps the website run, and it
Yeah.
makes it so that I can share my patterns for free the way I want to share
Mhm.
them. And I mean, when you're doing, if it was a, when it's a recipe and you've got all these ads,
Mhm.
and scroll, 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 it's
Yeah.
really annoying.
Yeah.
But if you're following the pattern, you're not going to scroll, scroll, scroll through.
Mm.
You're going to stop and read the pattern. So it doesn't matter that there's an ad just below, because then you scroll past that one
Yeah,
and you
right.
read the next
Mhm.
one. No, but sorry, I'm justifying a bit. No, so
No,
I do have
no.
ads. I have ads on my website, and that helps fund it.
Yeah.
But I also do offer paid versions for people
Mm.
who don't want the ads or who want to print it out. And so I have never, when when I went to two publishers for
Mhm.
Sophie before Sophies
Yeah. Mhm.
kindly offered to publish the book.
Mhm.
First one was not interested,
Mhm.
and they
They're
said
lost. They're
and they would only, they would only consider it anyway if it was written abbreviated. And I went, I can't write this back
no.
abbreviated. Nope, defeats the whole purpose.
Mhm. Right.
And the second one said they would publish it
Mhm.
if I took it down from online,
Oh,
and they
yeah,
would
right.
give me £1,000 for it.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I said no,
No, thank
not the.
you.
I mean, I would like the £1,000, but I was like, no, it stays free online. It
Yeah.
will sell.
Yeah.
And then Skype said, we'll publish it for you. I said, I don't want it abbreviated. They
Mhm.
went, you don't have to. I said, I want all the photos.
Yeah.
Said, that's fine.
Okay, yeah.
So, and then the irony is we sold the rights for this company to publish it in America anyway.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I got £1,000 anyway, and it's still free online and it's not abbreviated.
Yeah,
So,
right. Yeah.
um, no, everyone's journey is different.
Mhm.
My motivation is different.
Mhm.
It's money second. It
Mhm.
is, of course, I need the money, but my motivation is to share my patterns as far and wide as possible
Yeah.
and for as many people as possible to make it. That is why when Esther asked if she could do videos for Sophie,
Mhm.
I said yes. People
Yeah.
going, why did you let someone else do videos?
Yeah.
Because more people would make it, more people would see
Yeah,
it.
right. Yeah. Mhm.
Some I know a lady said to me once they were in Africa, so they didn't have internet, but she wanted some local ladies to be able to make it. Could she print the pattern off for them? I was like, go ahead.
Mhm.
Like, I've given people permission to do workshops with it.
Mhm.
I'm Sophie specifically is such a lovely vehicle
Mhm.
to grow your confidence
Yeah. Mm.
and learn things that I want people to have access to it.
Yeah.
And that's my motivator.
Yeah.
So no regrets.
Oh.
And I make money from my crochet.
Yeah.
So just in other ways.
Mhm. That's so inspiring to hear because like a lot of new crochet designers especially like, okay, so how do I actually make money from patterns, or that's like the thing that they start. Okay, so I want to offer crochet patterns because then I can make money. So it becomes a vehicle for making money, which is also like pushed now, with all the passive income, and you can just lay on the beach and then you can earn millions with your crochet patterns.
Yeah. Look at me lying on the beach with my millions.
Yeah, but it.
And it's a fair point
Mhm.
that they need to make money, but it is worth considering
Yeah.
that if if you make one of your higher quality patterns free
Mhm.
with a paid option,
Yeah.
so people could support you,
Yeah.
but if you make one of your higher quality patterns free,
Mhm.
people who come to make that and enjoy the experience are
Yeah.
much more likely to buy
Yeah.
your other patterns.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I think one of the things that people sometimes do is they make the small things freebies
Mhm.
because they feel like they're not losing as much, not
Yeah.
realizing that a free pattern is not a free pattern. It is
Mhm.
advertising, it is
Yeah. Right.
brand awareness,
Mhm.
it is,
Yeah.
and you have a paid option.
Yeah.
And people will, if they can't be bothered or they just want a PDF, they'll pay
Mhm.
the paid option.
Yeah.
but that I would strongly encourage designers to, even if you make it free
Mm-hmm.
1 month out of every
Oh
year
yeah,
or
yeah.
something,
Mm-hmm.
but one of your beta patterns
Mm-hmm.
as advertisement
Yeah.
and as a introduction to your style
Yeah,
and for other
right.
people to.
Yeah. And it's also like giving back, feel that feeling of providing something. And of course, we all want to, get paid for our effort, our time, our creativity. But there are so many ways to do that. You don't have to only offer paid patterns. And like you say, it's like advertisement. People see how high quality your patterns are, how fun they are to make. And they're like, whoa, I want to see more from this designer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I wrote down that question, I already kind of knew what you are going to say. But there are a lot of designers that have that mindset of everything needs to be paid and, regretting. They might regret, offering something for free, but you can always, like you say, you can always offer a paid version. I have so many patterns that are free, but if they do want to print it off or, just support me as a designer, give back in the ways of money, then they are totally invited to buy the pattern, but they don't have to. It's
Yeah.
like combining different strategies if you are talking about earning, income, then there are so many ways to earn it. It doesn't have to be with paid patterns only.
Yeah. And like if we think about it, so how many thousands of people have made Sophie now? How many
Hmm.
thousands?
Yeah.
And if each one of them had paid me £1, I would be sitting on piles of cash.
Hmm.
But that's not how I look at it, because that
Hmm.
was, well, the reality is they wouldn't have all given me £1.
Right.
And that's not the point anyway, but I can see your point of view that people sometimes, if they do release one of their beta patterns and then
Hmm.
you think, oh, because 7,000 people have made this pattern, I could have made 7,000 times
Right.
£5.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
Hmm.
7,000 people wouldn't have bought it from you
No. Right.
necessarily.
Yeah. Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's, yeah, I suppose it just, I have had people, I know that there are designers who feel that people who, like me, who put work out for free undermine the industry,
Hmm.
because why would people buy their patterns if they can get
Oh,
mine
right.
free?
Hmm.
But I just don't see it that way.
No, I no. Hmm.
If anything, the fact that that pattern was free and that person started crocheting because of that pattern,
Yeah.
that's a
Right.
new crocheter that is
Hmm.
going to go out and buy patterns.
Yeah.
So it very much goes hand in hand.
Hmm.
It's like a circle.
Yeah.
And sometimes my husband will go, ooh, like
Yeah.
he will focus on something I've done for free that could have brought in money. And then I'll say, but the rewards won't be financial, they'll be an opportunity or meeting someone new, or like the rewards are not always quantifiable in that moment.
But you were saying like it's not one on one, like crochet design to income.
Sorry?
What were you saying, like the last bit?
What I was saying, how it's not always apparent what the benefits are. So
Okay.
sometimes my husband will go, "Oh, but are you getting paid for this?" Or what? And I'm
Mhm.
like, "No,
Yeah.
but it may lead to an opportunity that
Yeah.
may lead to
Right.
payment later, may
Yeah.
lead to new connections." So
Mhm.
it's not always obvious. Yeah. Now I've lost my train of thought as well, but it's not always.
No worries. Okay, so to recap, it's like there are several ways to, if you are looking to make money from your crochet patterns, then it does not have to be money from a paid pattern. It can be several different ways. And also, even if you do not get paid right now, does not mean that you will not get paid later. Or it does
Yeah.
lead to like a collaboration or,
Yeah.
usually,
And there's also now platforms where you can make kits,
yeah,
yarn
right.
kits. So you can get a
Mhm.
commission for yarn kit,
Mhm.
which is another way of of getting money
Yeah.
through your crochet, and that's also passive.
Yeah. Yeah. Like so many options right now. Yeah. Yeah. But I just love, I don't feel like there are a lot of people even that feel the way you feel, like being so generous. Even though, of course, you do get paid, but in a different way. But it just feels so generous to just say, like, okay, if you want it, here it is. I just want you to have an amazing time and learn what's possible with crochet.
Yeah, it makes me all blushy when you say generous because it's selfish in a way as well. Because I get the feel good, so
Yeah,
I do it.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's always an exchange of something. I mean, of course,
Yeah,
you
it's
get
always
the
an
feel
exchange.
good feeling. That's then your payment, but if you want to call it that, but yeah.
Pay me and feel good.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to end with?
Well, I just want to say that I really admire your work as well. Like,
Oh, no.
I-
Don't say that.
no, I do. And I love the way you weave your stories
Mm,
into your it resonates very much with me. It's everything has got a story and a meaning and a feel
yeah.
and a flow.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's beautiful because you do tell stories with your
Yeah.
projects.
I love to tell stories. Yeah. It's like my, I don't know. It's my thing. I've
You're a
also,
yarn writer.
yeah, right. It's so, I mean, I read books all the time. And it's so fun to just like, oh, this character would be this stitch, and this character would be this color, and of course it's very easy, or easy, but with books around nature, to depict trees and bees and ocean waves and birds and feathers and all of those things. But when
And
you,
leaves.
yeah, right, yeah.
Lovely leaves.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I also cannot do it in any other way now that I'm doing this, with the books and nature inspiration. And of course, nature in itself, nature conservation is very important to me. And also to, with the last crochet along, with the overstory crochet along, the overstory is also around tree conservation, nature conservation as a big theme. And I would have people during the crochet along say, whoa, I am looking so much different to my environment now. There are trees in my neighborhood I would just normally just pass by, but I'm now seeing how magical it actually is. And I'm like, oh, that's like my reward. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's really nice to talk to someone who I think we are very much on the same wavelength as
Mm-hmm.
far as inspiration and
Mm-hmm.
storytelling and deep diving
Yeah,
goes.
right. It just does not serve me to just create like, okay, so here are the stitches and then there you go. I really want to add like another layer, an extra experience just for the make to go like, whoa, I'm not even creating just, I'm not having a fun crochet experience, but I'm also looking at my environment differently. It's so magical. And reading the book, of course, like the whole crochet along read along is just so fun.
Yeah, I do admire that you've done that. Well, I've got a big project lined up for later this year,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all nature and storytelling as well.
Yeah. But that's still a secret, I feel. Yeah, okay. So let's not talk about that anymore. Yeah, but it's like it's so rewarding, to give that extra experience, and yeah,
Yeah.
just magical. So that's what I want to end with. Just thank you for your time. We've ran a bit long, so I think this will be. I will just cut it in half, make it a
Or
two-parter.
just take half of it out.
No, no. Yeah, but yeah. So thank you for your time and thank you for listening. I'm sure a lot of you listen just crocheting away and just having us in your ears blabbing around stitch anatomy and community and all those things. So thank you for listening and thank you, Dedri, for spending your time with me.
Thank you. It's been lovely. It's been really lovely.
Oh, thank you. So that was it, you guys, for this very special interview. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I did. I would love to hear your thoughts on Dedri Uys' special design process and also her very original way of making money even though all of her crochet patterns are free. What are your thoughts on that? Send an email, send a DM, put a comment anywhere, and let's have a chat about that. I would love to hear your thoughts. In the meantime, thank you for listening and talk to you next time on the Mind of the Crochet Designer podcast. Bye bye!